Right, so just a quick video to run through what our private lessons are and what you can expect from them. They're done over Skype, so that no matter where you are in the world you can have a lesson with one of our traders. Uh, the reason why we've decided to do this is that you can only teach so much on videos. Everyone learns at different paces and things like that, and other people would like to learn specific things, and we can't make a video for everything. So what we've decided to do is do these Skype lessons. Whether you trade already and you want a bit of help on discipline or whatever, or whether you have no experience in trading and it's something that you want to do, if you let us know when you make your booking what sort of trader you are, if you've got no experience, or you want to request that the lesson entails something specific, then get in touch with us, because our lessons are quite loosely planned. So if you want to know something particular, we can cater for that. If not, then we'll have our own lesson plan for you, and we'll be able to teach you what you want to know. So one of the advantages of having a lesson with one of our traders is scenarios like this. Now you can learn from textbooks, and it can tell you to buy on this line and buy when it breaks out of that line, etc, etc. But sometimes when you're in these positions and you've got a scenario like this where you've bought a share, maybe a penny share or something, it's shot up and you're thinking, okay, do I sell now and take my profit and risk it going higher, or do I hold and risk it going lower? What do you do? Things like this is what we like to go through, because we know that a lot of people probably won't know the right thing to do in that situation, and you do get people making mistakes. And a mistake in a situation like this could actually cost you quite a bit of money. Not necessarily a loss, but you might not make as much money as you could. So they're quite worth it. This comes from experience. You know, we don't really see this in textbooks and things. This comes from experience. People who have been in these situations over and over and over and learn from their mistakes and whatever. So yeah. Another prime example is a textbook will tell you to buy on a breakout. So when the price breaks out of this triangle, they will tell you to buy or go short. But what actually happens when, you know, where is the best time to buy? Do you buy in anticipation of a breakout? Do you buy after it and react to the breakout? Or do you wait for a back test? These are the sort of things that we can run through with you in private lessons, and in one of our first lesson plans, this is actually what we go through with you, and a lot more other things. But this is what makes a good trader, because you can tell anyone to buy after a breakout, but doesn't mean they're necessarily going to make much money out of that trade. So it's all about trading strategies and discipline. So we speak to a lot of people who trade the stock market and use technical analysis, and a lot of the time when there's one of these patterns on a share or a chart that they're actually charting, they don't actually spot the pattern, and I think that's because these are quite rare formations. Not a lot of people actually know about these formations and what to expect. So this is something we run through in our private lessons, because if you can spot one of these patterns and you know what's likely to come, you can profit from it just by knowing and recognizing the pattern. One of the other things that we like to teach is little things like this. The hedge fund managers tend to watch a certain average. What does it mean, and what does it mean for our trading? This is the sort of thing that you could actually trade without knowing this, but knowing it, it's another weapon in your arsenal against the market. If you understand this, then there may well be a few times in your trading where you're trying to trade a stock like Barclays or an index like the FTSE, and you see this average and you think, hang on a minute, and then you decide, actually I don't want to buy this, I want to be selling it, and it may well be the difference between making a profit and making a loss. So it's quite important that we go through things like this, and again, not a lot of traders that we speak to actually know this average and know how to use it, so another weapon in the arsenal. Right, one of the big things in our lessons is technical indicators. There is a lot to these. There is so many indicators that you can use on so many charting programs. A lot of them are just noise, a lot of them just confuse things. There's some of them that are quite important, and we actually use them to back up our analysis on formations. when you're looking at trading the S&P 500 for like small trades that we try getting our traders into to start off with, the indicators are very, very important, and quite a lot of the time we make quick in and out trades, make a profit just through technical indicators alone. So if these indicators line up and say it's going up, we'll buy, and 9 times out of 10 it actually works that way, as long as you're quite nimble taking your profit. So this is a big part of our lessons, and for a reason, because it's very important. Again, one of the advantages, or probably the biggest advantage to having a private lesson with us, is our experience. Because we've been trading for quite a while, you pick up on things, you learn things off others, and we can just channel that at you. Stop loss strategies. If you don't know how to use a stop loss properly, that will make you lose money. You will make losses instead of where you should have made a profit, but you didn't know how to use your stop loss properly. We will go through that. Signs of stock market crashes, guidelines to profit taking. You would think profit taking would be quite obvious, because you think, well, once you're in profit you take it because it's easy money, you know. But the problem is your mind plays tricks on you. When you're a couple of £100 up from shares you bought this morning, you think, well, it's gone up a couple of £100, why should I sell now, because I might be a grand up by the time the market closes. And it does play tricks on you, and sometimes you end up sitting on a couple of £100 profit on paper, and then by the end of the afternoon it's gone back down to where you bought. So there's a lot of things we need to talk about with profit taking, and you can't be a good trader without a good profit taking strategy, and also portfolio diversification, which is a lot more important than people realise. Right, so the triangles as well. We haven't mentioned these in our tutorials. This is something that we save for our private lessons, because there's quite a lot to them. We don't want to just make a video and you take it as gospel. We need to talk through these. These are very, very common on a lot of charts. We know traders who actually only trade triangles. They ignore everything else, they only look for triangles. So we can go through this in a lesson, and there's quite a lot to this subject as well, because there's so many different variations. Okay, so volume. We was trading quite a while before we actually started using volume, and as soon as we did, we noticed we was making a lot less mistakes. We was making a lot better decisions. This is a technical indicator that a lot of traders don't use because they don't know how to use it, and they don't realise how important it is. When you're seeing something on a chart, it can tell you to buy, but when you look at the volume, it's showing you signs that actually you shouldn't be buying, and it's not going to work the way you thought it was. And there might not be any other technical indicator saying it, but volume is so important to watch. Any people who trade for a living, they heavily rely on volume. So we teach you how to use it, what it is, etc. Right, so just to wrap up, some other example of what we can teach you. This is things that we've learned through experience. When we actually see conversations between traders, quite a lot of time you'll get people saying to each other, is this actually a gap? You know, do we trade this as a gap? It is a gap, isn't it? And other people say no, other people say yes. Through our experience, we have a black and white answer for this sort of situation, and we will go through this in lessons. This is the sort of things that sometimes technical analysis isn't black and white. There is actually something in between, and textbooks don't really teach you that, but it's something that you gain through our experience, because at one stage we didn't know whether this would be a gap or not, and it makes a big difference to how you would trade this chart. So it's very important. And it's another weapon in your arsenal.